So you'd spent the night and you'd done good things and had paid rest in Tourmaline. What is it that you wanted to do?
Well, Tourmaline's one of the places where the serial killer's been, so I wanted to have a word with Horace Mashchow.
Well, as you'd got up the next morning, you'd had breakfast. Yum breakfast. And I had I wanted to share this for you. This is a visual guide to how you can or cannot see. That is a guide. So where it says Oral's Aura, that is the Aurora Borealis. And then you've got twilight or moonlight. So it's never very bright. But as you get up in the morning and decide that you need to speak to Horace Mashchow, you have your breakfast and you are meeting up. You hear a call coming from down the street. A loud yet crotchety voice shouting, "He comes! The man with the steely gaze and ice water in his veins. He comes, he takes the souls for the White Lady." This is out in the street.
I will go out in the street and see what the hell that's on about.
You see, by his bearing, because everybody's in cold weather clothing, you see an older man grasping a stout staff as he shuffles up the road. You can tell he's old because he's bent over, but he's the one that's shouting and screaming.
Local nutcase.
I will approach him. Anyone with us?
I'll go with you.
Head off with you.
Yeah, I'll head out as well.
Fair day, old man. And what is it, pray tell, that you are speaking of?
He comes, the man who serves the White Lady, who recalls what has been stolen from her.
And who would this be?
His vengeance, his death. Then you see, because this is, early morning, sort of, 9:30ish, as it's getting towards twilight. Several of the small children come running down the street, grasping copper pieces in their grubby little hands inside their cold weather clothes, and they're shouting, "Tog's coming, Tog's coming!" And they're sort of shouting for each other, and as a throng, the small set of children run down the street towards the gate.
Oh, great. That's the guy with Spring Heel Jack on his payroll. I'll turn around to everyone and go, "This might be the person we need to have a word with. We need to be very careful."
Yeah, because you've spent a couple of days in Tourmaline, and if you remember, he was heading up to Targos and then heading up to Tourmaline a few days later. Ooh. And you seem to have got caught up in events and have had to spend some time here.
Right, now remember, I'll take everyone to one side so there's no over-flapping ears and say, remember, we need to arrest this guy, but they're not overly worried if it's alive, if he comes in dead or alive.
So on the map I've just shared with you, the children are, were you staying at the east side of the Blue Clam? The Blue Clam's the rough dock, where the Spiggers tends to prefer.
I think.
Yeah, so they're running down this way, because obviously the caravan or whatever it is coming up from Targos.
We should have a wander down.
Right, you wander down the road and just pulled up into this open area here is a caravan consisting of 3 large cargo sleds being pulled by 8 dogs each. Dismounting from the front sled is a small dwarven figure. Obviously, everybody's in cold weather clothing. And as they're pulling back the canvases on the sleds, and they've got items for sale. The children all cluster around the sled at the back, and you get the gist of them shouting and screaming, saying, honey treats have come in from Goodmead. We can spend our pot of money." And there seems to be a kindly human-shaped figure, which seems to be selling honey treats for a few coppers to the children at the back sled. So as you approach, do you get within earshot, or are you just going to observe from afar?
No, I am going to go and have a look around the sleds to see if there's anything worth purchasing. And at the same time, I'm looking for a guy who's not in cold weather clothing.
Right, so you, what about the rest of you? What is everybody else doing?
What's the got for sale?
Right, it generally seems to be like a travelling shop. Basically, they pick up goods from each of the 10 towns and transport them between the different towns. So you've got honeyed goods from Goodmead, you've got different fish from the different lakes, and each of the large cargo sleds is basically set up like a travelling shop. As they pull the canvases back, they've got large crates full of goods, but they've also got some unpacked to sell. Getting off the front sled, Earl, you see this gentleman. apparently the man with eyes of steel, as he is not wearing cold weather clothing.
God, he's brave.
Looks like a Geordie to me.
He gets off the sled and you overhear Targ shouting, well, at least, Sefik, you sullen bastard, the least thing you can do is help us unload. He looks down at him with his steely gaze and says, you don't pay me to unload. I'm here to defend the caravan. I go to perform my rites. I'll be back at around midday. He starts to walk back towards the road to Targos.
Do we stop him or do we follow him?
Well, if we follow him, then we're less likely to have to deal with other people in the middle of the fight.
Good idea.
But we'll probably best let him get out of our sight and then use tracking to follow him.
Do you want us to charm person the fucker?
That would involve us actually taking him in. We'll have a quick conflab since everyone's here, right?
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
he's walking unhurriedly, so he's just sort of strolling. He doesn't have any weapons. The image of him has him holding the longsword, but he doesn't have any weapons in his hands. He only has a dagger sheath at his hip.
This is probably really dangerous, so we need to be smart about this, all right?
I totally agree.
So, follow him
Does anyone want to take this guy in alive? No. Good.
Not especially.
In that case, we only need a bit of him.
I think we'll
So
follow him
are you all
until-
huddling around, trying to look inconspicuous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna,
It's all like somebody's bought something, like there's all like trying, like there's all showing something that he can't see. We'd be back to him.
actually,
That's
do
all
you
we're
want
talking.
you want us to go and sell that tourmaline we've got to the guy who runs the caravan?
Yep, more thought we sell it that dwarf place at Bridge.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. No, we'll keep it till then.
Yeah, I popped that in the party sheet. I actually found the item for it. So if somebody wants to grab that and carry it for now.
I'll shove it in my sky.
Richie, I'm going to cast mage armor on myself just in case.
Okay. Are you going to duck out of the way behind a building or in a back alley or something?
I could just hide under Bracey's kilt, couldn't I? Do it.
You could, yes.
Ding.
Yeah, you cast mage armor. Go ahead, just hit the.
I resist the urge to squat.
You drag the effect onto yourself. There you go.
I figure we'll follow the guy once he's out in the wilderness. We surround him, have a quick word, but I've got a feeling it's going to end badly.
I've got the feeling that we're going to follow him and he'll ambush us.
Well, that's all the better, isn't it?
And I've got a feeling the word's going to be ouch.
Well, we hit him with everything we've got because we can always rest again if I have to today.
Very well. He walks unhurriedly out of town in his perfectly normal clothing and heads out into the snow. You see a set of footprints.
Now, do they look like the footprints we've seen elsewhere?
They do indeed. They're quite obvious because they're not winter boots. They're actually just normal boots, as you saw on the image.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Mr. Toscobble, lead the way.
Today is going to be foggy.
Oh, that's handy.
Good to know.
Do I need to roll anything? Bearing in mind we can't get lost.
You can't get lost, but you can easily follow the tracks without needing a roll. Are you trying to stay out of sight, giving him a few minutes head start, or are you going to try and keep him in vision with it being foggy? You'd have to get quite close. It's foggy, so the tracks are going to last a while if they're not going to be immediately filled in by snow.
I say we just hang back and slowly follow the tracks until we get to him, rather than him noticing us and that potentially ambushing us.
What I
He's
said.
probably already noticed us, but
Yeah, well.
Oh, the paranoia of it. Oh, all the NPCs know what we're doing. Oh, he's going to kill us. Right,
Yeah.
so you follow him out into the snow to the south of town. For maybe 10 minutes walking. And then have a perception check on the clock. Got
Whoa. Look at that 20.
24. Okay, that was supposed to be a hidden roll, but that didn't. Try again. Just out of curiosity, it didn't. So it looks like the update may have broken the request roll because it's hidden. If the hidden's not working, oh well, never mind. Fancy ground day. Right, so the 24. Ish, just at the edge of your hearing, you hear something. The crack of a whip and a voice crying out. Why will you not release me, lady? I perform your bidding, I perform it well. And then noise. This repeats somewhat. Just off in the distance. I don't know if you want to stop the party or...
yeah, I'll stop the party, indicate until I've heard something and point to where it is.
I'll load my crossbow.
Get me bow and arrows out.
I'll ready my shield and warhammer.
Yeah,
I'll get ready to cast firebolt.
Shield and hammer.
Right, okay, you all ready? And
Spread out. Ben and Aisha to the front.
very well. I'll let me provide you with a map, a highly detailed map, and I will drop you. You're approaching from the northeast, so I'll drop you on here. You've got candles and torches and things on at the moment. So right, so a highly detailed map of a snowy field. So you can put yourselves in that corner in the direction you want to be at as you ready your weapons.
Does it look completely flat, or is there snow drifts up and down, and that someone could be hiding down below in, or?
It's more or less completely flat. So depending where you want to stand.
Remember, he's probably fast.
So. Okay, don't move into the middle of the map here. Just get yourselves into the order that you want to be. So who wants to be in the front?
I'll go first.
Bjorn and Aisha, yeah? And then who?
That'll do.
Yeah, I'm standing behind them.
Yeah, so are you all marching forward? Are you sneaking forward? What are we doing?
We'll just move forward. We'll not make excessive noise, but...
Right, so as you move forward, there are a couple of people in heavy clanking armour, so I'm going to see if this worked. If it doesn't work, then it's no big loss. There'll just be an update coming up. Select all PCs. That's hidden. It's gone red this time, and we'll try a stealth roll. See what happens. It's intermittently working. As per usual, there's several armoured clanking. You come upon Mr. Caltro, and you see him in the distance. He's kneeling down in the snow. His top is off, and he holds in his hand a whip made of ice, of which he's lashing himself across the back and apparently calling out to the White Lady, asking for release and mercy. And as you approach, you're very noisy, sadly. He stands up shirtless, his abs rippling in the dense fog. And he turns to face you. Well, so obviously you've followed me out here. I mean, if you want me to murder you, you could have just waited in the town. But what can I do for you?
You're wanted for murder in... I forgot the name of the town. Bryn Shander. You murdered a noble boy. What say you?
Oh, yes, that was me. I have to, you see. It's for the Frost Lady. You petty mortals, you give and give and give, and then you decide you can't just take it away from a god. I mean, it wasn't even her idea, but yes, I'm the murderer.
Very well. We will bring you to justice.
Dun, dun, dun.
As he walks forward, he holds his hands out. A spray of ice crystals appear around both hands. One of them forming into a dagger, and another forming into a longsword.
That's clever.
I believe the colloquial term is twat him.
Oh, we're going to do away with the monologue. Very well. But that's quite sad. I do like a bit of monologue before I murder a bunch of people. It indicates with his
I find it rather gauche.
And he says, shall we begin?
Seriously, nuke him.
Wow, he rolled terrible initiative. He rolled a 3. So, round 1. Ding, ding, ding. Lanesh is first. He's walking slowly towards you. No shirt. Confident.
All right. What's my range on me firebolt?
It's like 120.
Yeah, it's something crazy, isn't it?
Oh, he's within well range then. I'll cast firebolt on him.
Have you got candles out? Do you dated? Because several of you have got candles as your effect.
Sorry.
Why wouldn't we
pick
take
that
mining
wrong?
off?
Sorry. Yeah, I've got a candle out.
You need to target.
I know I've rolled the wrong thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drag and drop. So no talking from the little one. As you're doing this, he's freely talking away. He's gone, so let's see. We've got a gnome, a possible sorcerer, warlock, maybe, wizard. See, we have a Goliath there. I haven't murdered a Goliath yet. Crit.
I'm going to knock your balls into your throat, fella.
That.
It spells crit.
The ones that roll the hit can.
Right, she just did. Did you go roll it again, Tracy?
Oh, no, it should do it automatically.
No, it didn't.
Did you roll twice to hit? No? Okay.
There you go. I've done them twice. That didn't do it twice.
Right, you blast him because you haven't got him targeted, Tracy, so it didn't roll the crit.
Right, okay.
So control and left click him. I'll just drag the damage onto him for now, but if it would automatically do the crit. Right,
Okay. So if I'd rolled the the damage dice onto him after that would do it, yeah?
You just drag it from the thing, yeah. So just make sure everybody's got them targeted, and it'll do the crits automatically.
Okay,
And is
thank you.
that your turn?
Yes, it is.
Excellent. Corin.
Right, Corin. Suppose. Oh, bloody mark. Oh, okay.
You hit. He's not wearing a shirt, remember?
Oh,
Right, so Tracy blasts him on one shoulder and it singes his skin, and he shoots him in the other, drawn. Well, what could be described as blood, but it's like glowing blue blood.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Eek.
And that's your turn because nobody's got any bonus actions, really, have they?
Not really.
Aisha.
Right. Who's the melee of the group? Me, Ben, and is it Sanwin?
No, you and Ben.
You and Bjorn. The rest of the
Well,
casters.
I'm going to cast Bless, so obviously I don't look. Excuse me. Look for a third. That's going to be the best to cast it on. That's all.
Possibly Corin, I think. I mean, I won't say no.
Anybody that rolls to hit. So if Tracy's using Firebolt, then she rolls to hit. But if she uses a different spell, if it gets a save, it doesn't affect them. So you're probably better off. This is the one time I'll tell you. With Corin, who uses bows and melee weapons, Bjorn and yourself.
Yeah.
With bam, out comes the blessings. Nice.
And I start moving towards him.
Make your-
Hunkering down behind my shield because I know he's going to do something nasty.
He says, oh, please don't hide behind your shield. I want you to feel like you're doing well as you spread out and head towards him. Bern.
I just move forward.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Sanwin.
I'll move there and I'll chromatic over.
Okay. It's another hit. Blam. He says, ow, that was quite a hit. You must be quite dangerous.
For me, bonus action, I'll burn 2 sorcery points into a first level slot.
Okay. Caltro's turn. He walks casually towards you. 25 feet. He gets right up in front of you, just out of melee range. Smiles at you, Dave. Goes, watch this. Shatters into 1,000,000 pieces of ice. And then reforms right behind Lanesh. Pops in, his longsword raised above his head, and he says, you really shouldn't have cast fire at me, dear, and brings down the longsword on Lanesh. Dodges out of the way. He then swings again. He hits. You take 5 damage and feel icy cold in your veins. As you take an extra 6 damage, he cuts you deeply all down your back. And he goes, well, that's disappointing. I missed with 1. Never mind. Try again next round, eh? Lanesh.
I'll tell him a joke. Why did the chicken cross the road and cast Tasha's hideous laughter on him?
Okay, go ahead. So yes, you can apply the prone effect to him. So he starts to giggle and then guffaws and then falls to his knees, laughing.
I'll move max range out of his way.
Because he's prone, that won't make an attack of opportunity, will it?
That's right. So you move. Lanesh runs away after being badly cut up. Right. Corin, you're right next to Mr. Caltro.
Right. Being right next to Mr. Caltro, can I pull my shots out and try and cut his throat?
You can certainly make an attack. Yep.
Right.
He'll attack with advantage since he's prone one.
He'll do it automatically because he's got the prone effect on him.
Yeah, I love this game.
Right. Hang on then.
See? Yeah. With a 23, that just hits. Right. But Tasha's, when you take damage, and each time it takes damage, if it takes damage, it rolls with advantage. Okay, so it needs to make a... What kind of saving throw is it? A wisdom saving throw with advantage. Right, so you stab him with the short sword. He finds this absolutely hilarious. And he gets a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Blow me candle out. No sense in tempting fate.
Yes. But the spell ends, so you can... I'll remove that effect from him. However, he's still laughing, Andy.
Right.
I'll remove that effect. He is still currently prone, so I'll apply just a normal prone effect. As he's down on his knees, he's laughing so hard that he's dropped his sword and his dagger.
I'm tempted to stab him again, but I can't. Can I?
You can offhand it. You draw. Oh, no, you can't, because you need to draw the sword, because you didn't have them drawn. If you had both swords drawn, you could have. You could draw your second sword ready.
I don't have a second sword.
Or a dagger or something, no? A butter knife? A spoon. You spoon him in the ear for a point of damage.
Pop his eyeball out with a spoon.
I could chuck me net over him.
Again, that's not drawn. You could make an unarmed attack if you wanted to punch him.
Right.
If I've done the unarmed thing, I may have forgot. I have forgot.
Or kick him.
I haven't got an unarmed.
I know,
but
I
if
forgot to do that. It's basically
That's
just
all right.
it's 1 point of damage plus your strength modifier, a minimum of 1 if you hit.
But if he's nailing down in the snow, laughing his head off, can I
Yeah.
just kick him in the nuts?
Yeah, sure.
Well, he's nailing down right in front of us. It would be rude not to. What shall I roll?
That is roll your net to hit because you're not proficient on arms, so it's just base +3. So just use that for now and I'll set it up. Yes, you hit, you do a point of damage as you hoof him in the nut. And again, he's still laughing quite hard, so I'll add him an extra point of damage there.
I mean, it's not much, but you know.
Yeah, it's always
all
worth
counts
it.
towards it.
A hoof in the nuts. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I think so, yes. Yes,
Okay.
I'm going to die next turn, but yes.
Right, Isha.
I will target
Kill him.
Lantesh and cast Healing Word as a bonus action.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Good lad. Then kill him.
Throw my kit.
And then I will charge this idiot and smack the shit out of him.
Very good. You run over. You attempt to smack the shit out. It hits. Look at those blessers, man. God damn.
Awesome.
Bam. Oh, he looks heavily injured. Right, Bjorn.
I shall move up to him and whack him one.
Go on, Davey. Chop his head off.
You hit. Right, quite a strong hit. He's still going though. And finally,
Rich?
Sandwin. Yeah.
With burning hands, if I stand in that square between Bracy and Davy and burning hands in the direction of Sethic, it won't hit anyone else, will it? Because it's a cone, so it should be safe.
It should be, yes.
I just want to make sure I don't satellite to the group. So I'm going to move there.
Yeah.
Could I just ask something first, Rich, before he
Of
does
course
that?
you can.
Technically, although we're on the map, we're on the very edge of the map, it should be possible for him to move like one up north to where I am.
Yeah, in any direction. It's
You know,
possible.
so I'm just wondering, is it worth moving everybody down maybe one square just so we can like move people around? Because I would have thought it would be easier for him to move around the left-hand side of me so Lantesh can still get a shot off at him.
I'm going to move out after I burn Nansum, so don't worry.
Okay, mate. Sorry.
So I just roll that, and that mean he saved, so he takes half damage.
No, you've got him targeted right. No, he's fairly safe.
Bernie.
Bernie. He catches fire and his hair starts to burn. His face begins to melt away.
Back to that.
And then you move back.
Is he still alive after all
He's
that?
still alive. Right. However, Earl, he's no longer Tasha's hideous laughter. Okay?
Yeah.
So he can get an attack of opportunity on you from the ground.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He hasn't got anything in his hand, but he streaks out with the longsword with his hand. And as he does, the crystals form around his hand and the longsword reforms in his hand. Still laughing, burning, his face part melting, and he goes, "Thanks for running away," as the longsword misses. Oh, we're going to be like that, are we? Right, so you run 15 feet away again. So his turn. He dissolves. He shatters into a million pieces of mist.
No!
And he says, "I would dearly love to kill you. Half elf, but I need to." And he appears standing over Lantesh. "I need to thin the herd out somewhat," as the longsword comes down on the next once more. That hits. You feel the icy blade stab into you, and then he throws a dagger of ice using his other hand at you, Earl, which misses again, and he curses. And then he seems to be slightly shaken as he walks backwards, facing.
Oh, your arse dropping a little bit of the sun.
Says I just need to regroup, obviously. Or,
I'm going to try to intimidate.
actually, I dropped a 16. Earl, that would have hit because I still had him as prone. He should have been standing.
All right.
Okay, so he hits you with the dagger.
Ow!
Yeah, the dagger digs in the wound, and like a dagger from Mordor, it's made of ice. It pierces straight through your ribs, and you feel the cold inside you. He says, "Just give me a minute. I'll be back to fighting fit, and then we can, continue this." End of round. Lanesh succeeds at a death saving throw.
Oh.
Corin.
Right. Arrows, I think.
So you once more. So you'll have to drop your sword on the floor because you're drawing your bow.
I'll just stick it in the ground next to us so I can pick it up again if I have to.
Right, again, the arrow thunks into him.
And if I've got a bonus action or anything like that, I'll pick my sword up and put it back in its scabbard.
Yeah, you can do that with your bonus action. That's no problem. Aisha.
I target Lantesh and cast Spare the Dying.
Isn't that a touch spell? You'll need to check.
Okay, yes, it is.
So you could run over to it and then do it if you like.
I've only got to move 15, wasn't it?
Why? No, it's 30.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Unless you got one leg. I don't know.
Okay.
Got one leg.
I'll remove it, and then I'll touch it, not appropriately, not inappropriately.
I mean, that doesn't have to be said. I mean, it's never mentioned before, to be fair. There's no need to, whoa, look at that. She's got a little heart with a cross on. Oh, bless. That was an action, so you have a bonus action left.
It's me guardian.
Spare the oh, hang on. Oh, yes, it is an action.
Would Healing Word not do the
It's
same
not
thing?
a lot I can do.
Yeah, Healing Word would absolutely have done the same thing. But it depends how many spell slots he's got left. He's only got one left.
I will just hold my action for an attack in case he does that disappear and act again.
Yeah, it's almost as if the first time you met the tracks, the Jane was trying to give you a clue about the fact he could teleport. Bjorn.
I shall move beside Lantesh
Okay.
and ready an attack action in case he comes near us.
Yeah. You stand protectively over Lantech, holding your
love
axe
you.
ready. Salmon. He says, I'm next. I'm coming, Salmon. Don't worry.
Move there. I will. Don't want to be really cheesy. I don't want to kill him. I'm going to try come at Gob again.
How many spell slots have you got left? I know you've converted one.
Oh, well, it didn't work. Yes, it
No,
did.
it hit. Oh, nice. He says, ow. Right. So the fire hits him. He screams and shouts as he's consumed by flames. Thank you for freeing me. You can't have my soul, you bitch. He looks up to the sky and then falls, clawing on the sky, dead.
I'll say something in a language no one understands.
What, Johnny?
No, Draconic.
Can I wander over and chuck a hail on Sanwin?
You certainly can.
Thank you ever so much.
Is that right?
Although Lantesh is unconscious.
Sorry. Well, next round.
She lies there,
Look,
blood running down her back where she was cruelly stabbed with a long sword, and looks, there you go, well, as if by magic, you have Draconic as a language. And then you just select Draconic and then type like that. Everybody else just sees a bunch of gobbledygook. Right, so Sefik lies dead. He basically has a pair of underpants, some boots, some trousers, and a dagger. You see his jacket cast off. Because Salmon used fire on him, he does not get regenerated because he also has 5 points regeneration if he's not put down by fire. So that was sad.
I'm going to cut his head off and put it in a bag.
So you chop off his head and stuff it in a bag.
And I'll
Take
purloin
his shoes as well.
I'll purloin all his gear and bring it back to the chap.
Right, there's a dagger that you grasp it. The two weapons that he was manifesting, the ice daggers, have disappeared. They've just melted or disappeared in some way. But the dagger that he had at his hip, when you grab it, the hilt feels cold.
I'll let go of it.
I mean, everything feels cold, but
Yeah, but it feels special cold.
special cold.
I'll pick that up with a handkerchief
Right.
and take it over gingerly and dump it on the floor next to where Lantesh is.
Right. Okay. Lantesh lies serenely unconscious on the floor.
I will cast Healing Word on her.
I was going to do ass to mouth. I mean mouth to mouth.
Jesus Christ. Right. Okay, Lantesh, you wake up. You do still have a lingering wound effect that you need to either do a long rest or be healed to full hit points.
I'll graciously thank you for saving me.
well, I can chuck the other spell on if
I
you
don't
want.
think he liked it up him.
No, I don't think he did.
You have a festering wound, Tracy. It throbs. You surmise that pieces of the ice blade have broken off inside the wound and are causing problems.
Oh,
I figure we'll go back to town, have a good night's rest, and then go north.
I'll carry Lantesh.
Oh,
You scoop the tiny gnome up in your big arms.
Can we not try
Love lifts us up where we belong, starts to play in the background. you put your captain's hat upon her head. Bjorn shouts, "You've done it, Lantesh! You've done it!" No, sorry, I'm just reliving movies in my head. Sorry, we were just replayed Officer and the Gentleman there. All right, so
I'm singing here.
You scoop Lantesh. Sorry, I keep missing the T. Lantesh. There's a dagger lying on the floor, however, next to you. Good job, it's not an exploding dagger, as you just dropped it next to your unconscious body.
Yeah, I suppose I'll pack all his stuff. I'll wrap it up in his trousers and shoes and put them in a separate bag, and we'll take them back to town. And I believe Lantesh can detect magic, because I can't.
And identify as well.
Kind of castery you.
But I've got two spell slots left for an identify and a detect magic if need be.
Do you want to cast a detect magic and an identify?
I'll do detect magic first because it might give us an idea if it's going to be harmful, because I believe to identify an item you've got to handle it just in case I think it might be cursed.
It is indeed magical. You think everything's cursed in here? I don't know, stabby skill, the one that magical weapons are.
Just I thought might have known like whether it was abjuration or
the one that stabby weapons are. I don't know. I don't think it even lists it. Yeah, it doesn't even list it on the actual item of what type it is.
All right, okay. Okay then. I'll identify it. Go for it.
So you grasp hold of the handle. You pull the blade out to and cast identify. The blade is of a black substance shot with green tines through it. And the Aurora Borealis runs up and down the blade, but it is a dagger +1 made of Chardolin.
But didn't he also throw a dagger at?
Yeah, but I think that was
they were made of ice. He was just conjuring the daggers
all right,
of ice.
Okay. Oh, this sneaky bastard. Okie dokie. I'll let the rest of the party know what it is.
Well, as you pull it out, it's quite obvious because the blade and the cross piece are made of this black ice substance that is strong as steel. And like I said, it's got the Aurora Borealis that flickers up and down the blade. It looks quite beautiful.
Ooh.
And it's in the party items. Yeah, the other weapons he was apparently conjuring out of thin air. He was teleporting using mists of ice and conjuring weapons into his hands.
Anybody particularly want his dagger?
Not me.
Well, I don't really use melee attacks myself, so
We could sell it and
Well,
buy a load of stuff.
if Annie doesn't want it, I'll have it.
I was just going to say, do you want it? Because I wouldn't mind having it, so I've got an offer.
No, you can have it, mate.
And you
sure?
can offhand
Yep.
that.
Right.
On the way back to town, can I have a look around to see if there's any plants?
There are not any plants above the snow in this area.
I'll keep an eye out for plants.
Okay, I'm slightly worried about this non-specific amount of plants. So you much bloodied, and after that short fight, you head back into town.
So earlier, you're looking for King's foil.
I'm looking for anything. I just want to know a lot about plants.
when he was talking about this ice lady, right?
Yes.
It's not. Can I do a religion check to see if it's the same one that everybody thinks that's
Yeah,
made this
absolutely.
window or something?
As you approach town, the old man, Mr. Lake, comes running, screaming. He's tore his cold weather clothing away from his face, and he's clawing at his eyes, and blood where his eyes used to be runs down his face. And he shouts, the hand of the white lady is gone. We're all dead. As he runs past you off into the snowy wilderness. He's not going to last long pulling at his clothing like that.
Listen to the book or the religion thing.
Yes, that is one of the words of Oral. I mean, you've been here a couple of years now, so you do know that there is an actual religion worship in Oral.
Right.
Because
I
she
just
is a
had a double
goddess.
check.
Yeah, but yes, that's one of the words. But yes, Mr. Lake claws out his own eyes and runs out into the snow.
Is there anybody else in the street at the moment?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people in the street because the caravan is stopped at the entrance. And they're not aware of you murdering anybody, so there's just people coming around trading and buying things from the caravan.
I'd just like to ask somebody, who is that old bloke? Is he the local town nutter or something?
He is. He's the prophet. He proclaims himself the prophet of the White Lady and goes around preaching how that, she'll kill the unworthy and we're all paying for their sins and things like that.
Right. I get the feeling I should talk to him.
But he has ran out into the snow, so you could track him if you like.
I would quite like to track him.
Right, okay, so you turn around, you chase after him. You're a bit slower, being only of short stature, and he runs out for about 20 minutes straight east out into the wilderness, and then by some miraculous reason his tracks just stop, and there's just plain snow ahead. There's just droplets of blood and 2 tracks.
I'll look around for any sign of boot prints that shouldn't ought to be there.
No, there's nothing.
All right, I'll do that thing you should never do in horror films. All right, where are you hiding? I know you're out there somewhere. Where are you?
Yeah, just a little. Your voice breaks just a little as you're starting to get nervous, and you call out into the snow, but there's no response. Just the blowing of the wind as the fog comes in.
Well, I'd better wander back to town then. I'm not fond of being out here in the fog on my own.
And then you're attacked by a yeti, and it bites off one of your arms.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Right, so in the meantime, Andy's about, say, 40 minutes, 20 minutes out, 20 minutes in. What are the rest of you doing?
Going into the inn and going to head up to bed for a bit.
Yeah.
Don't feel too good.
I'll tuck lad Tesh in and get us some sleep.
Right, as you head into the inn, the kobolds are there. The leader, Trex, that you recognise, although he's now lost his wings and he's lost his white robes, comes over to you all and says, thank Jobs, me give, not much, but me give, and he pulls out his pocket and he's got 1 10 GP tourmaline and a couple of 1 GTP tourmalines, a bent copper piece, some shiny shards of crystal that look worthless, and he offers all of this to you. Thank you.
Thank you ever so much, old man.
He's now speaking with a thick kobold accent.
He's likely putting it on for the locals.
He's gone native.
No,
I'll ask him. Why he's talking more common instead of posh.
He taps his forehead and said, "Man in head gone."
What was the man's name? Do you know?
Just shrugged his shoulders. Right, so we've got 2 pebble-sized tourmalines, a bunch of worthless crap, which you can take or not, and 1 acorn-sized tourmaline, which he proffers to thank you for finding him and his men jobs.
Well, thank you ever so much. That's very kind.
I'm out of healing slots, Rich. Well, I'm out of spell slots, I should say. I asked the barman, is there anybody, do they have like a healer or anybody who could come around who could pay to help heal Lantesh?
She should be fine after a long rest. So if we just rest for the rest of the day.
All right, okay.
There is, but you will know this, that the cost for a spell in Icewind Dale is 25 gold pieces for a first level spell, 50 for a second level spell, and 150 for a third level spell. But she
can rest.
She should be fine after a long rest.
That's fine. I'll just take her up, make her comfortable, and I'll guard the door.
I'll ruffle your beards and say, "Don't worry about us. I'll be all right in the morning."
She'll walk it off.
Yeah, the wound is almost healed, Tracy. You've got 1 hit point remaining, but you can still feel those shards of longsword embedded in the wound, which are burning. So hopefully a long rest. Are you all going to spend a long rest? You've just getting up, and now we're going to have another long rest.
Well, it's the only thing we can do if we don't have enough healing, and then first thing in the morning we'll set out for the.
Actually, I need to make a closed thread. Right.
All right. I presume I'll come staggering into the pub right at the end of this.
You do, yes.
Mine's a pint.
There you go, fish ale.
Right, so I need to keep a track of the things you've completed. Chapter
Tracy, that's
0,
not my car, is it?
Goblins.
I'll have a look.
Chapter 1, Part 1, you've completed the sled and Sefik, I believe.
Do we need to go drop his head off somewhere?
Verbeeg.
What was the name of the guy, the madman who ran out of town?
Mr. Lake, the caller for oral. He's kind of like that, those weird religious fanatics we get in Blandford Street that walk around and shout religious things at passers-by. Oh, no, wait. And the mine. You've completed the mine as well. Guys, you have a long rest. You level up. Right, starting now. Chapter 1, Part 2. Yeah, you've completed 4, so it's now chapter 1, Part 2. So you have a long rest. You feel your festering wound heals. I'm going to give you all a long rest now. And you level up. And for once, nobody's got any kind of exhaustion or anything like that. So everybody gets a long rest. Everybody feels much better. You didn't find any plants outside, but there was quite an interesting fungus in the corner of the pub worth an examining.
I'll examine the fungus and then I'll ask Mr. Top Cobble what the fungus is.
It's bloody fungus. Yeah, the head of Suffolk Caltro is worth 100 gold pieces. Oh, hold on a second. Calendar. Let's advance the calendar. Don't let that slip. Yeah, the head of Suffolk Caltro is worth 100 gold pieces to the sheriff in Bryn Shander.
Rich, I need 2 more sorcery points, please. And how the hell do I do meta magic?
I have no idea. You picked it. You've picked the bugger out.
How it works, I just don't know how to add it to my sheet.
I've got no idea. Normally, you just drag it from the player's handbook and drop it onto your actions bit.
Right, I'll see if that works.
So if we go to that, oh no, we've got prep. And that's it, yes. So you've got 4 daily now. How have you got 4 sorcery points? That doesn't seem fair.
Well, it's just the way the cookie crumbles, old man.
There you go. So what you do is you go into preparation mode, Earl, and you'll see you've got 4 daily sorcery points. So
All right,
that
cool.
number, and then when you go into combat mode, they turn into little dots.
Got you.
Richie, I take it I get 4 level 1 spells and 2 level 2 spells now, yeah? I don't know. I can't. This slots level 1 4, level 2 2. Is that right?
That should be right, yes. But yeah, I haven't leveled up yet.
I put it. All right. I put it at 3, but and then do I have to pick spells?
Yeah, right. So what you need to do is on your main sheets, click where it says class and level, click the little tennis racket next to your name, and then click the level up button, and it'll take you through the level up thing again.
It's opened a funky new window which I've never seen before, but it's not letting me select any level 2 spells.
Right, because you're still only listed as level 2. You haven't leveled up yet. So don't worry about the spells. Just level up to level 3. Once you do that, it'll should have paused this. Right, yes. So you spend a quiet day in the pub, getting a rumour, perhaps, drinking.
Oh, yes, we've got to have a fish for a rumour, Rich. I like a rumour.
Do you love a good rumour? I love me a good rumour.
I wrote 220, the bastards. I love a rumour.
Hey, if we're fishing for rumours, I'll get me net out.
We're still in chapter 1, so you get one of these ones. Dugan's Hall. I think you may have heard that before. People live in fear of winter wolves that haunt the outskirts of town, as big as horses they are, and yet smarter than the average wolf. They nick your picnic baskets.
Smarter than the average wolf.
So when will you be doing the token for my familiar?
It's 10 gold pieces to summon a familiar. When are you going to spend the 10 gold pieces?
Oh, bugger.
You tell me, Dave, and then I kill it, and then to resummon it, it'll cost you the 10 gold pieces. So you tell me,
I've held off getting one.
you tell me when you want to summon a Dave. Are you going around town shopping for incense and charcoal? That was a whole different game there.
Yeah.
Hey, David, hey, are you? Silent. Right, finally. Right, Lantesh feels better from a stab wound. The ice has melted out of it. You've had a rumour. You have spent the day dossing around in Tourmaline, basically. You've found out that the kobold, the man is gone from his head, and now he's acting much more like a normal kobold. And where do you head next?
You throw the map. I believe we're heading up north to the Black Cavern.
Aye, that sounds about right.
You were heading to the Black Cavern.
We could go via Lonelywood and check out the rumour window, or we can go straight up to Black Cavern. What do you want?
Can I just intersect before we do go off? You know that kobold said that the man in his head's no longer gone, but I remember the little man in the red robes telling us
Santa
that
Claus.
he hasn't got his wings and things yet.
Yeah.
So where are these wing things that he had?
Oh, they were made out of cloth and wood. He's just
all right. They're not responsible for. Sorry, I was just getting on a train of thought there. I thought maybe they were like some sort of magic connection with something.
Mr. Toscobble, do we want to go via Lonelywood, or is that a better route to go via Lonelywood, or should we just go straight?
You can make it in one day if you hike there, but you'll have to camp out overnight.
Wait, hang on a minute.
If you hike right along the edges of the woods, you can make it just in one day.
Right.
Then we should do that.
Well, it's 6 and 2 3. If you mind me, why were we going via Lonelywood? I've got a terrible memory.
Just because they'd heard a rumour, it's in the Rime clues thing. They'd heard a rumour that things were happening. There's some kind of crazy killer moose up in Lonelywood.
Oh, that's right. Well, I mean, from my point of view, it's 6 and 2 3s wouldn't go either way.
We'll head to the Black Cabin, but we'll keep an eye out for the moose on our travels past the Lonelywood.
And I'll light me lantern on the way as well, just in case we detect one of those little elemental things.
Oh, indeed.
We could always do Lonelywood on the way back.
Right. You get it. 16 is The lantern glows green. So there must be something within 300 feet. Old woman who's run out of her cottage and is cursing and swearing in this nearby.
I'll go up to her and say, what's wrong with you?
Right, as you approach her, the lantern glows just a little strong.
Oh, shit.
And she says, "There's spirits in me house. They're breaking me plates and they're smashing me house up."
Don't worry. We'll deal with this for you. And I'll grab the rest of the guys and say, there be those elementals in this lady's house. Smashing plates up, she says.
Ah,
The lantern says so.
there we are. So yes. The thing about this is there's so much going on everywhere.
I know. You've got to keep track of all these little things.
I'll stick my nose round the door of our house.
Right, I'm just
And
trying to
have a
find
look.
the correct.
Is that right?
Right, it's the old lady is Elva, and she looks quite shaken. She says, "It's cursed, I swear. It's cursed. I've got trickster spirits. It's been opening the windows and letting the cold in and smashing me cups and plates. So me cutlery has even gone missing."
I'll sit her down and say, don't worry, that we'll have this sorted out for you.
Right, as you say this, Andy, you've crept forward and you peer around the house. Yeah, the shutters at the back are flapping open. You can see scattered around the house. Plates have been thrown, cutlery smashed, chairs have been tipped over.
Right. I'll step inside and close the door quietly behind me
Okay.
and have a listen. Can I hear anything?
You look around the cottage and you see tiny little footprints on the windowsill leading out the back of the house.
Right. I shall creep across and peep out of the window to see if I can see any of these twingers knocking about outside.
Yeah, the advantage and disadvantage buttons are lit up and not working, so this is definitely not working for a while. So I'll have to start using that. Right, so can you give me a stealth roll into the tower? We'll have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Hey, well, it worked, didn't it? The stealth roll.
It's working for some things, but not working for others. Right, so you clank and scrape across the room. You wince as your armour sort of makes a lot of noise.
I'll shush myself.
And but you peer out the back window and you see that's the question. Super. Not a lot is the answer.
Right. Well,
You see,
in that case,
you see close to the window a tiny set of footprints with a thin furrow in the snow alongside, but you do not discern anything else.
right. I'll carefully and quietly close the shutters and latch them shut,
Okay.
which might, with a bit of luck, slow them down if they try to get back in. And then I shall come out the front door and disappear quietly round the back of the house, intending to pick up these tracks and presumably the furrow where it's dragging a bit of cutlery across the floor.
Right. And what about the rest of you? Then Tesh has been confident in the old lady. You see Corin come back out of the house after a few minutes and starts to head around the side.
Yeah, I'll pause to pick up enough snow to make a snowball. I'm not getting caught with her again.
Right.
I'll take the old lady inside and I'll press the digitation a house up a bit for her whilst they, and
that's
settle her
nice.
down.
Yeah, so you clean the house up for her. Isha and Sam, what are you doing? Bjorn is taking off after Corin.
I will help prestidigitation the house up.
Okay. So do you sing like a Disney princess as you do it?
Of course.
So the pair of you burst into Disney song. So what about Isha, who's busy standing in the street currently?
I'll swing my handbag. No, I will go with Andy.
Right, so the three of you creep round the back of the house and here you see the tracks. What I'm going to do is ask you and Bjorn to give me a survival, just to see if it works.
Just as we get to the back corner of the house, I'll turn to these, put my finger to my lips and go, quiet, we're hunting twingers.
We're hunting twingers. Right, Bjorn, you see the you see the tracks pointed out to you by Corin.
I'll point.
Isha, you realise that there's actually 3 sets of tracks, not just one, that are heading off into these small bushes.
I will point. I will hold my fingers up, saying 3, and point to the tracks. to the lads.
Right.
I look at Aisha with an expression that says, 3? Can you count?
1, many, lots. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Right, so prepare. You see it leading off a small, short distance out of town because you're on the outskirts of town, and there's some small conifers nearby. Small patch of conifers.
Ah, right. Can I have a very close look at those conifers? Are they actually conifers, or are they that I seem to remember something about twingers in disguise?
You certainly can.
So like robots in disguise.
Robots in disguise. Let's have a nature check. Yeah, they're definitely conifers. You go over, you smell them, you lick them, you bite on one, he nibbles on a bit of bark. Yeah, that's definitely a conifer.
Right. Well, I guess that being the case, if those are definitely conifers and not twingers in disguise, the best thing to do, I guess, is to follow those footprints. I shall keep me snowball handy.
Right, let's see if I can find the appropriate picture, because this is the sickliest sweet thing you'll ever see. You gently part the conifers to one side, and in a clearing, this is the sight that greets your eyes.
I'll wait and you go. That's not the only pressure you've parted, is it, fella?
3 tiny chewingers are playing atop the snow in a clearing. A dinner plate with branches and pine cones arrayed on it is placed between them, and one chewinga is sitting on the edge of the plate while 2 others are moving a fork and knife as if to cut and eat the food. They immediately notice you, even though you were attempting to be stealthy, and they look up as you are poking from behind a conifer. The one in the middle mimes the cutting the acorn, lifting a fork up to his mouth, pops it in, and then making overly large chewing faces, and then looks at you 3.
Right. I grin back at them and then pelt them with a snowball.
Right, okay. Do you want to roll the hit?
Well, this is what happened the last time, you say. This is what they did to me.
Well, I figured you were the best person for the job because you know how to handle these things where I might scare them off.
Yeah, just give me a D20.
The chewinga smiles back and goes, fireball!
Nope.
Right, the snowball goes wide. However, they let out loud high-pitched squeaks and scatter in all directions and run off.
Right. Can I just pick one and chase it?
You absolutely can. You see the one, you pick a random one, left, middle, or right, and run into the bushes.
Middle.
Right. So you crash straight into the bushes ahead. You catch sight of it peering out from behind a conifer branch about 20 feet ahead of you, and as you run towards it, it disappears behind the trunk, and you don't see it move. But then 30 feet further on, you see a chewinga poking its head out, watching you, come stomping towards it through the bushes.
Right. When I say it pop its head out the second time, I'll screech to a halt and then make it look as though I'm looking at something in me hand that, like, I don't want it to see. And then I'll look up, and if it's looking back at me, I'll kind of put my other hand over the top of the hand that I've got this imaginary thing in and turn me back on it. And then just sort of, like, have a look over my shoulder. And I'm going to be very engrossed on this thing that I've got that I don't want it to see, in the hope that that'll entice it to come closer.
Okay, well, let's
That's not a bad idea.
Let's have a performance roll. Oh, look at that. Right, so, yeah, it steers out of distance for maybe a minute or so, and then it seems to slowly creep forward, but it's very wary. What is Aisha and Bjorn doing as Andy waits for a minute for this scent chewinga?
Well, I'll examine these plates in what you call it.
It's a plate taken from what appears to be the old lady's cabin. There's a knife and fork and an acorn placed in the centre of the plate.
I'm going to circle around the outside of the bushes to make sure none of them have shot out the back way.
Right, so you stomp around in your heavy cleric mail armour, but you don't see any so far. So you put your head into the tree and you look around. Maybe a perception check there. Right, sadly, you can't see any chewingas. There are several sets of footprints crossing backwards and forwards in front.
All right, and I'll just assume that they're still in the bushes.
So, Dave, what are you doing while you are examining this?
The twingies were they pretending to eat this acorn.
Yes.
I'll pretend to eat this acorn, see what happens.
Right, so you sit down into the snow getting a rather cold bot, and you mime eating the acorn. A few seconds later, first one head pops out the bush, and then another, and they watch you for several minutes to see if there's anything going to happen. 30 seconds or so, and then they run over to you and join in, miming eating. They plop down next to you, Dave, looking up at you in your gigantic frame to them, and mime eating the acorn, smiling and making nom nom noises as they do. Andy, the other Twinger, comes over to you, and it comes round the side of you, like timidly having a look up at you.
I will bow to it and sort of hold my hand out to shake its hand, right, while making sure it can't say what's in the other hand.
You hold its hand out, and it holds its hand out in a mirror image of what you're doing.
Right.
And then it holds its hand up and then clenches its fist and then mirrors the fact that you can't see it. It seems to be mirroring you and copying you or something. And then a high-pitched giggle comes from the clearing behind where you initially saw them. The Twinger, upon hearing this, turns and runs back into the clearing.
Right, I shall follow it, but not like thundering about and trying to frighten it.
Yeah. So
I'll just sort of trot along behind it.
Emerging back into the clearing, Baron is sitting there with two Twingers having a tea party, kind of like Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story.
Mrs.
Nesbit!
Can I pretend to pour myself a cup of tea and have a drink?
Yes, so as you do this, the Twingers copy you. The third one runs into the clearing. They all start giggling with that tinkling little laughter. It sounds a bit like icicles tinkling together. And the third one runs over Dave and climbs up the side of you, sits on your shoulder and starts raking through your beard and inspecting it, and then like tugging on your beard as if it's a strange thing that it's never seen before.
I burp and pat my belly. Yummy yum.
That little giggling, tinkling laugh comes out, and then the Twinger copies you and makes a burping noise and pats its belly. The other two fall about laughing.
I'll go and join the tea party.
Yeah, so we have a lovely little tea party with Aisha looking on, and you two sit, have a tea party. The longer you sit, the more relaxed they seem to be about you, and they start to climb all over you, and they seem to be inspecting your weapons, your clothing, any trinkets that you have on you.
And the whole time we're thinking, how the hell do you catch them?
It's true.
We need one of these cages with very narrow bars, and one of us walks in, and they're walking after you.
Yeah, you're right. The only thing I've got at the minute is a net.
Who's a net? So,
I mean, off the top of my head and kind of out of the situation for a moment, the only thing that occurs to me is the last time I met a Twinger, it gave me a charm of animal summoning or some such thing. The only thing I can think of is to summon a fox, because they seem to like foxes. But how the hell do we control the fox long enough to get the Twinger to come with us?
Right. So some time has passed, Lantesh and Sanwin.
I'm going to ask the old lady, does she have a box or a cake tin or something of some sort?
Yeah, she'll have a cake tin.
Or I'll give her a silver to exchange, just to exchange for the cake tin.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. She's been through it all in that, and I'll thank her for it. And I'll say to Sanwin, do you have a couple of those like little charged gem things on you by chance?
What, the tourmalines?
Yeah, just stick them in the tin.
I'll stick the two small tourmalines, the shards in the tin.
Okay.
I'll head round back and
try talking to them before you try throwing one in a box.
I was hoping to coax one in the box, to be honest.
Yeah. But I'm going to try talking first to see if they understand.
Right, so you haven't seen the rest of the party come back after.
Right, we'll go out to see what they're up to.
After you head out the back, you can plainly see all of the footprints heading off into these bushes just outside to the north of Lonely. These kind of.
You could try singing.
Right, Dave. The one who you were initially having a tea party with, he climbs down and he goes and he gets some pine needles and he takes them and he sticks them into his little pine needle thing, making a replica beard. And he stands with his hands on his hips to the others and starts barking in this tinkling little language. The other two fall about laughing and they sort of wave bye bye, and those two run off towards the bushes. The Twinger, the tiny little Twinger, stands in front of you with its new fake beard, which apparently it likes of you, and stands expectantly looking at you.
I bow to it.
Hey, Ben, I think you're in there, mate.
It copies you and bows all the way over so that its chin almost touches the floor. At this point, Lantesh and Salmon have pushed the bushes to the side and are witnessing it.
I try patting my shoulder.
Okay. It does its very best to copy you.
I wonder if you bent down and put your hand out, whether it would climb in your hand and you could put it on your shoulder.
I'll try that then.
Yeah, the Twinger will happily climb upon your shoulder.
Aha! I've got a familiar no 10 GP.
Well done, son.
It sits there. It attempts to, now neural, it attempts to copy Dave's body language as it sits there with its little fake dwarven beard and sits upon his shoulder, looking about intently.
Well, we might as well make the most of this. I shall bow to Dave, I shall bow to Bjorn, and I shall bow to little Bjorn.
I shall use prestidigitation to make an illusion of the same clothes as Ben's wearing over the Chinga's clothes.
The Twinger seems incredibly happy by this. It squeaks with delight and capers about on Dave's shoulder.
I'll turn around to the Chinga and say, "Do you understand our speech?"
It looks at you. It attempts to copy your body language, but it makes some noises, but it's in that little tinkly, squeaky language.
Evidently not. See, we, on the offside that you understand what we're saying and we don't understand what you're saying, we have a problem, and I think you might be able to help us. There's a lady in one of the big cities that needs to talk to a Chinga to find out if they can help with freezing cold that's hurting people. But we would like a Chinga to come with us as a friend to speak to her, and we would look after the Chinga so it didn't get harmed in any way.
Wouldn't it be awful if the only way to end the winter was to put many Twingers in a blender and squeeze out the Twinger glue juice?
Don't mention that in front.
That's not happening.
So
we have to play good guys.
It looks to be mimicking your body language, although it does seem to have a fondness for Bjorn's beard, and it's now a Twinger with a pine needle beard. It's not responding to you directly, and it does seem to be mimicking actions, but its curious little fingers never stop, so it's always investigating something, like it'll investigate the straps of Bjorn's backpack and anything that seems to be put before it.
Well, in all honesty, I don't think we should try to capture one. I think we should try over time to befriend them. I think that makes the most sane way, because I've got a feeling these things can just get out of most traps anyway.
I'll put the tin in my backpack. You never know when you need it.
Lantesh is standing there with a biscuit tin, like, you know, when you're hiding it behind your back, trying to be like a child's like, obviously not. What you got behind your back? Nothing. It's just this biscuit tin.
It's not a biscuit tin to trap a Twinger in. It's not, honest.
Well, so you seem to have found a Twinger that now lives in Bjorn's beard.
We're taking it with us up to the cabin and then making a trip back, or what we're doing.
Well, we should start heading to the cabin and see if it'll come with us. If it doesn't come with us, that's fair enough. We'll just keep looking out for them with the lantern.
True.
I don't think it's a good idea to try to capture them, because I have a feeling if we hurt one of them, the rest are going to know it.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I've got a feeling they're all sort of vaguely interconnected somehow.
So I think we should just be real chill with them and be honest with them.
Yeah. If that one does disappear out of Bjorn's beard, then the chances are it'll be in this vicinity, and you know, we're bound to bump into one of the three, at least, I think, if we'll come back the same way.
Right, well, you seem to have acquired a Twinger by fair meals or foul. So, are you going to try and set out for the Black Cabin?
I think we should. I mean, on the one hand, I wondered whether it was worth heading back to Bryn Shandon now we've got a Twinger. But on the other hand, if we do that, we're never going to finish up at the Black Cabin, because someone else is always going to come up.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Because we'll be heading back once we've been to the Black Cabin anyway, so...
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan, and it gives time for Bjorn to get acquainted to his new familiar.
Well, as you set out, it alternates. It hops and skips, and like it'll appear behind a bush, and then you'll not see it run, but it'll appear in front of you. It alternates between running about, picking up shiny stones, or interested things on the floor, to mimicking Bjorn's gait as he struts across the snow. The Tringa with its little pine needle beard mimics him and marches beside him. Sometimes it sits on his shoulder. Occasionally it'll seem to go to sleep in his beard, and all you hear is sort of coming out from his beard as it moves gently as the Tringa apparently snores. Not sure.
Oh God! Occasionally, when it's well, I think it's probably good if we're kind of mimic Bjorn's gait and and act jovial with it, so it feels comfortable around where.
It will play with the others, but it seems to have formed a bond with Bjorn,
That's good.
The one who initially played with it first. So we're marching off. Is there anything else we're doing?
Yeah, I'll be singing my dwarf marching song. Hi ho, hi ho.
Just start properly, Dave. You begin to march, Dave just goes, hi ho.
And I was going, hi ho.
Right. Well, so you march to the black cabin. Yeah. You approach the cavern. It's perched upon the edge of a snowy ridge of gorge. A black wooded cabin with a ramshackle path leading up to it. Icy steps climb to a snow-covered walkway that clings to the south side of the structure. The building's slumped posture and sagging snow-covered roof, coupled with the broken windows and loose flapping shutters, suggest utter abandonment. Large snowdrifts huddle around the rotting stilts and engulf a nearby woodshed and outhouse. It appears that only the wind visits this sinister place.
I'll cock my crossbow.
Is this one of your maps, Rich, or one that comes in the module?
This comes in the module. I'm hoping the windows, the vision work, it does work.
I will motion everyone to keep their eyes out.
Apparently, you can see a door ahead of you, a door to the east, and two windows that are open but look large enough for everybody except Aisha to climb in. Also, there is an outhouse to the right and a wood pile. It's all quiet.
Can we see any tracks on the ground?
You can.
This is not supposed to be like a scary job, this, is it?
No, you're just supposed to check up on a gnome who is out here attempting to make something to end the endless winter. This is definitely not what you were signed up for.
Aye, that's kind of what I
The
thought.
wind blows through the open shutters and you might hear whisper on the wind, "Get."
Set fire, dude. It was like that when we found it.
Get warm.
I'll
What
go
if-
to the window and have a look through. Do you say anything?
Right, so which window, Dave? You'll have to climb up because like I said, it's on stilts, so you'll have to go along this way and up onto the walkway and walk along to get to the windows. And you can see it's several of the planks are missing and have fallen on the ground. You want to go up onto the walkways.
Yeah, I'll have a go.
Okay, so Bjorn stamps up onto the rickety snow-covered walkway, the boards of which crackle and creak under what you get as far as here. And then there's a plank missing.
Can I step over the bank?
You can. How heavy is your character and your equipment? Should be on your... But if everybody can make sure that you've got your height and weight things filled in.
£151.80.
So weight 150 pounds. Yeah, there's height, weight, age and gender on your identity. So
Yeah, I've no idea where to find the information for them.
I think it's in the player's handbook under race.
Right.
Dave, the place creaks warningly as your stocky frame goes ahead. Let me have athletics from you as you step over the plank creak. Can't see the roller. 13. Right, so you step over and it creaks, but you step forward. You can see a window there and you can see a door ahead. You just stand outside the window. Frost covers every surface of this what appears to be an abandoned workshop. What about the rest here? You're just watching this amazing tightrope walking dwarf.
Yep.
I'm going to head over and to here and just have a look at the wood pile from a distance.
Right. The wood pile and the outhouse are half buried in snow. You can't see anything from close there.
Well, it would be road not now into neighbour's bush.
I think that's a tree, so you kind of stand under a tree. The bushes are the little ones just to the north. Right? So you like peek around the bark of the tree and then run off and hide in a bush.
Yep.
Well, come on then. You're here. You've got a job to do. What are you doing? And I know we are paralysed with inactivity, but you're heroes. These are fine.
I'll go
I'm
on the door.
and support then.
Right, with a creak, creak, creak noise, Leanne steps forward. Are you opening this door, Dave?
Yeah.
You open the door and see some workbenches and many tools.
What do I know the name of this home?
You do, but I can't remember what the hell it is. Is it not in the clues
And
section?
then I'll
I'm
call
having a
his
look
name.
through now. Macready.
Macreadus.
Creedy.
Yes.
Right, you shout and your voice echoes out, but there's no response.
I think we're probably gonna have the light. Get some wood, might need like a fireplace. Keep warm. I step in.
Yeah, step forward then, Dave. You walk into the room. Like I said, the roof hasn't given out on this part, but the whole place is covered in frost. There are several sets of tools spread about the tables and a bookcase on the north walls.
Go around here, then climb up to there.
Yeah, give me athletics.
Just checking.
Semi. You have a little trouble climbing up with a 4. You fall and sprain your ankle and take a point of damage, but eventually manage to scramble up onto the... Ow, you bugger. See, you twist your ankle painfully.
Yeah.
And then you step to the room.
I'll examine the tools. What kind of tools are they?
Right, there appears to be 2 sets of blacksmithing tools and a set of tinker's tools.
Is there only that one door?
There is. Now, what I'm going to ask you guys for is perception roll. Here, right. There's a scrabbling and a scratching noise. You jump almost out of your skin. Salmon, you swing around looking to the south, but beyond, you swing to the north and you just see a squirrel run out from behind the bookcase. Right, Salmon, you whip round to the south looking for the scratching, scrabbling noise. Surprised, beyond, you look and you see a squirrel run out from behind the bookcase and disappear through a hole gnawed up near the ceiling.
I'll see if I can move this bookcase, see what's behind.
Right, with some difficulty, you manage to drag it across the floor. However, there's just a wall behind it, normal timber wall. What about the rest of you? People are running about. Instead of just moving your tokens, you need to describe to us what you're doing because I can't see.
Right, we're just waiting for you finishing with them first, and then
All right.
Yeah.
Investigate this room, look for hidden doors and that.
Okay.
The walls.
I will help then.
Now go on, wood. I'm going to investigate this wood pile. You know, just on the off chance there's a corpse lying behind it.
Right, now that you're that far forward, you can see the outhouse has a door which is closed on it. You investigate the wood pile, but no. It does seem to have been filled up with only a little bit missing. So it was filled up within the last couple of weeks, you estimate.
Right.
Only some has been used.
It's a wood pile.
It's a wood pile.
Right. I take one of me empty sacks out me backpack and I fill it full of wood. This'll fetch a fucking fortune in Bryn Shander.
We have wood. Well, you've got a whole cabin made of wood. We just chop the cabin down.
Yes, but somebody's already cooked this up nicely for us.
Very
so
true.
I can walk into the tavern in Bryn Shander and go, I've got wood.
All right. Well, Aisha, Lantesh, what are you doing while Sanwin and beyond search that room?
moving up towards the front door.
So are you going to climb up or are you going to go around the side and then walk along the walkway?
I'm going to go along the sidewalk, along the walkway,
Okay, so
because it looks quite high up for me.
you move that way like this, and then you see the missing plank. You're a lot lighter, however, so you can step over it without problems. You end up looking out the door and you can see these two Egypts searching this room.
I'll wait for Asia to catch up, and Corin as well.
I will go the same way, but when I'm walking up the wood, I will make every step carefully to make sure I can take my weight.
But it creaks dangerously as you step on it, and it creaks very badly. So you make it okay to hear, but you can see that the planks ahead of you are rotted.
You know the rotted ones? Can I prestidigitation them so they're fixed?
Mending.
Aye.
Yeah, you can mend them.
Well, that's safe for them coming across.
Yeah. So yeah, Lantesh says, "Hang on a minute," and the wood magically grows back together. Right, you finish searching the room and find no secret doors. You do find some books on the bookshelf that have been chewed as little bits of paper parchment or whatever lie on the shelves.
Bloody squirrels.
And Corin has approached the bog.
Yes. I shall put down my sack of wood, leaning it against the corner of the outhouse.
Yeah.
Carefully draw my short sword, and then whip the door of the bog open.
Well, you're going to have to dig it free because it's partially blocked with snow. It's going to take you 3 or 4 minutes to dig it free.
Right, well, I'll do that then.
Okay,
I shall
so
do
you
that.
start shoveling the... So what about the rest of it up on the top? You've searched the room and haven't found no secret doors. Just 2 sets of blacksmith's tools and a set of tinker tools.
Oh, I'm not plantation. Get tinker tools in there.
I'll take the tinker tools if nobody minds.
Help yourself.
No exit to this room, is there?
There's no exits that you can find in this room other than the window, which is about 10 feet off the ground.
Should we head into the main building? I'll point to being.
Check the rest of the cabin.
I'm just going to drag there some tinker tools in the party if you just want to grab them. 2 sets of smith tools. Well, I'll leave them in the party sheet. If nobody grabs them, I'll just delete them as you leave. Right, so you want to head out into the main building?
I'll outside to let Ben go first. I'm not tanky.
Lantesh, are you moving round to let them through?
Yes, I'll move to the room. So are they coming out?
Yes.
All right. Okay, yes, I'll move down.
Down, so they can
Actually,
get past.
did we check what books were on the bookcase?
No.
No, we did not.
I
We'll read
have a
the
quick
book.
book.
Right, you have a quick read of the titles on the back of the books, and they seem to be in a language you don't understand, but Lantesh tells you the Gnomish, sort of Gnomish technical manuals.
Ooh,
With
technical
mathematical charts, but they've been extremely badly damaged by the weather.
Can I not fix them?
They're
You're
not.
going to take that spell off us?
No, you can fix the paper, but the actual text and stuff wouldn't be back on the sheet because you can repair the individual sheets of paper. So if you want to spend 6 months or so opening an individual sheet and then repairing.
Out of curiosity, being a gnome, can I go in and have a look? Because there might be something they've missed because gnomes, build some unusual little things and crannies, and there might be something they've missed.
You head into the room. Are you 2 guys heading out? As you examine the books, Tracy, you find behind one of the books is like a small squirrel's nest with droppings and things.
So is it nutty?
It is.
The squirrel shit.
There's a lot of dust. I take there's a lot of dust lying round.
No, it's frost.
Oh, it's frost. And there's only this one room. There's no like a staircase or anything.
No, that's just a room. It's a 1-story hut. You'd have to go
Oh,
further round.
All right, okay,
There's a second
yes.
door outside to the north. There's also a window, but there's a big gap between where you can see the planks have fallen down. We'll probably have to jump over that.
Okie doke. I'll go out then and follow the path round.
Okay, so who's doing what? As Andy's furiously digging away at the privy. He must be busting for a crap.
I will wait outside and keep an eye on Corin. Because
Okay.
we're not going to split the party.
Right, you 2 then. As Lanesh looks around the room and claims the tinker still. What are you doing?
I kicked out of fantasy ground.
No, according to me, you're still in. I'll kick you out. Rejoin. Get out. Right, so Bjorn, what are you doing? Heading out.
Yeah, I'm going to check the other door.
Right, you
Into the-
head round the walkway. You can look in through that window there. Inside, you see the main room. It contains lingering smells of burnt wood and flesh. You can also catch the faint odour of wine. Snow has fallen through holes in the roof and then being pushed into corners by stiff wind. You can climb through this window or you can continue on and try and open the door, but you will have to jump over that gap.
I'll try for the jump over the gap.
Right, so pumping your sturdy little dwarf legs, you run, attempt to leap over the gap. It's not going to end badly, is it? It's an open roll because if Dave craps out, an 11. No, right, he runs and leaps through the air. Apparently nobody tosses a dwarf and lands outside of the door. Else seems to be having a dog of a time connection.
I'll be back in a minute.
No problem. So what do you want to do? Are you just waiting for Dave?
If I've got this door cleared, I want to open it.
Yeah, you clear the door and you can pop the door open there. Inside,
The little gnome frozen sitting on the bubble.
you pop the bog open.
Yep.
Inside, hanging on a hook by the side of a plank over the top of a pit, you see a stack of papers right next to the privy.
I'll have a quick look, see if there's anything I can read.
They are written in Gnomish. Do you speak Gnomish or not?
I don't know.
Dwarven, though, and Dwarven and Gnomish the same written language. If that's any help.
Oh, hang on.
That sounds like bollocks to me.
Wait a minute.
You could just grab them off the hook.
Yeah, well, I'll grab them off the hook because I speak Dwarvish, so presumably that means I read it.
Yeah.
So if they have the same written language,
Well,
I can read this.
I have not seen any mention, but then I haven't read the player's handbook. The same written language. Where cite your sources, El. Where does it say this crap?
I'm getting it for you now.
I bet you're just making it up. Do you like, right, Dave? The door creaks open at a touch if you want to open it.
Open it and walk in. Well, I open it and look in and see what's
Right.
said.
Okay, you look inside. You see a large room with 2 doors leading off it from where you are.
I'll step in.
Yeah, you step in. Right, Corin runs over here. Yeah, you step into the room, Dave. Right. Walls and furniture are scorched black, including a table with the charred remains of a book on it. Next to the table on the floor, amid several broken wine bottles, is a mostly incinerated skeleton and a round, frost-covered object about 6 inches in diameter.
You can speak, read, and write Common and Gnomish, the Gnomish language, which uses the Dwarven script. It's renowned for its technical treaties.
Oh, well, if that's the case, I took Dwarven as, when I had to pick languages. Would I not automatically know that and know an extra language instead?
Where did you read this from, though? Because
Player's handbook.
Right, so yeah, so if you can speak Dwarvish, you can read it. Right, Andy. So you flick through them, and they appear to be discarded notes with lots of scribbling out and some blueprints, which again they've got formulas and things written, and they're all crossed out and stuff like "this is utter bollocks" written on it. But one thing you do make out is 2 words: Mechanus Solaris.
Mechanical sun in Latin.
Dave, you step into this room. There's a skeleton, a lot of burning, and a strange circular object on the floor.
How big is it?
The snow flurries and seems to try to form itself into shapes around you. So, and Tess, you come out. You can climb through the window or attempt to jump over the gap.
Climb through the window. I don't think I'll make the gap.
Can you push the map for us, please, Rich?
Certainly can, my friend. Right, so Lantesh climbs over the windowsill, Dave. Okay, I'm going to drop the description in the chat, so if there's anything you need to double check, there you go.
So is this skeleton gnome size?
It is.
Right. So
I have a look at the the formula and that to see if it's anything that.
Well, there's a charred book on the charred book on the table.
I'll have a look at it.
Okay, so you walk over to this table here. Nothing remains of this tome except ashes and a badly burned spine. You can discern the letters Ether. It's obvious that these letters were part of a much longer title. You can repair the book, but you can't repair the words on it because you don't know what they are. So you could repair the book to a book shape, but you need to actually know what the thing was to mend it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll repair it. It looks like good. It'll be a good bound book. That'll be useful for something, anyways.
right, Rich, I'll tuck the bog paper away inside me tunic, and then I shall toddle off across up there and athletics me way up onto the.
Okay, so you're going to climb up.
So you'll need an athletics.
Yeah, that
roll,
thing on the
you?
end there, that is a chasm that falls down several hundred feet. So if you're going right to the end to climb up, you may want to reconsider.
Right. Yes. Okay. I hadn't realised that.
Yes, it's on stilts overhanging the edge of
right.
a massive James Bondish drop.
In that case, that way. I hadn't realised. I thought that was it was built into like the side of a hill or something.
Right. Well, you get
My
an 8.
mistake.
So basically, you get halfway up, you slip, and like Earl, you twist your ankle. So you take a point of damage, but you do manage to scramble up.
Right, champion. And then I'll go in the door.
And you head into the door, seeing the description, what I've described here. Lantesh is messing about with the book, and Aisha is peering in through the window. Only his head and shoulders fit, however.
In this room, Rich, could I make an investigation roll? Does it look like the fires started where this item is and spread out?
Oh, that is a good use of an investigation roll.
Nicely done.
I don't think that was meant for me, was it?
It wasn't. Just press it anyway. Right. You look in, and it appears that this half of the room is the Scotch part in a circular pattern, but you're unable to discern anything else about it.
As a pawn said, nobody touched nothing.
2 things. Is it a 30x30 circle, and is that thing at the centre of it?
Well, let's have an investigation from you. Investitude, Earl. That candle to Corin Toscobble. Corin's getting his candles out.
Yep.
Right, so it does look like to you that it's in the centre of the explosion, but it's not 30 feet. Looks like a 10-foot radius.
From 11 feet away, can I carefully examine it?
You look at it, and it appears to be a small sphere with 2 scorched rings inlaid with runes and a dense chunk of coal at its core. There's also the skeleton there as well.
Can I cast detect magic?
Okay, you cast Detect Magic. The Mechanus Solaris has a faint residual aura of transmutation magic. However, something upon the skeleton is radiating magic. And I don't know what kind of magic because it doesn't tell us in the description. Like magic-y magic.
I usually just pick a random one to fuck with the players.
Okay.
Maybe
Chocolate magic.
Would that not give me an advantage, being of the transmutation school?
Give you an advantage on what? You've definitely picked up the magic about it.
Just to learn a little bit more about it, that's all.
It's definitely mechanical. It's not something that you're familiar with. There are other rooms to explore, however.
Since I'm stood where I'm stood, can I whisper to Lantesh, do you know anything about Mechanus Solaris?
Do I know anything about Mechanus Solaris, Rich?
As far as you can ascertain, Earl was right. It means mechanical sun.
I'll say that to Corin.
Yeah, so there's something around the neck of the skeleton that is detecting strongly with magical letter.
Have a look closer at the skeleton then.
Yeah, there seems to be some kind of necklace with maybe a small box. Right, Dave, are you opening that door?
Yeah, see what's in.
Okay, you open it too. A scent of wine fills this room, which contains 4 frost-covered barrels. Is anybody proficient in brewing?
Nope.
I don't think
I'm
so.
shocked
No,
after all you drink.
But where I come from, wine is the drink of choice.
I'm not
I choose
proficient
it regularly.
I'm not proficient in brewing, but I'm reasonably proficient in survival. So I could build a travois and we could load them on and drag them back to town.
Yeah, large barrels of wine. Lantesh, as you are examining this necklace, the book that you've mended, is it still on the table?
Yes.
Yeah, so the cover opens and like 3 of the pages flick over as you're watching.
Oh my god. Can I see anything on the pages?
Yeah, but like I said, it's partially obscured. It seems to be Gnomish notation for tinkering, formula, mathematics, occasional swear words.
Has the book fixed itself? Or...
No, you've cast mending on it, so the pages are intact, but the words are not there.
All right.
Well, some of the pages are intact. You can't mend the whole book. You have to go through and mend individual pages. The pages have slowly flicked over. If anybody cares to look around, this has quite an incredibly spooky. Aisha, you're still got your head and shoulders through the window?
I'll say to the guys, I don't think we're alone here.
How thick are these walls, Rich?
They're quite badly in bad state of repair, so you could probably hack your way through or smash your way through with a warhammer.
Go on then, I'll make a door for myself.
Right, okay. Aisha begins to smash on the walls, wood splinters, and it takes him a minute or so. He manages to smash a hole big enough to get himself through the wall. What about the rest of you?
I'm going to... can I pick up the necklace off the body?
You can.
Yeah.
Let me pop back in the old party. What's it?
And I'll pick up the book as well before we go to the next room or whatever. This is spooky. I'm looking round as I'm doing it.
It's fine. You've just heard voices whispering and snow trying to form itself into things, and pages of books are flicking over. Sandman, you can see 2 more doors leading down and a window at the end of the corridor. Dave, are you opening this door? Speak up. Yes. You open the door, and inside you see what appears to be a laboratory. This room contains a fireplace and 2 empty bookcases. Tacked to the walls and strewn across the floor are frost-covered blueprints. Face down on the floor next to one of the blueprints is a tiny man made of clay.
Does it look like a homunculus? I step into the room.
Right, you step into the room. The edges of the blueprints flutter up. You examine the body, the small clay man. You're not sure, Dave. It just looks like a small, roughly carved statue, carved out of clay.
Is this room weathertight?
No, there are. The windows open. The shutters are open, so there's a little bit of snow come through, but it could be made weathertight quite easily.
Yeah, made weathertight because we put some wood in the fireplace, heat the room up, and we can sleep in here.
Yeah, very true. So you run to the edge of the corridor and look out the window. Aisha, you finally step into the room through the massive hole you've smashed through the wall.
Corin, fancy hitting the south door and we'll check in there and then we'll go through the north one.
Yep, hang on, I'll be right with you.
At least you've made for a fast escape anyways.
Right, you open the south door and look inside.
Yep.
Wooden planks have been nailed over the broken window of this room to hold out the wind. Furnishings include a saggy double bed and a bookcase containing some folded clothes, a few blank sheets of parchment and a set of calligrapher's supplies. Next to the bookcase is a soot-stained hearth wherein a scroll lies amongst the ashes.
Oh, right. Can I nip over to the hearth? Which wall's the hearth on?
The hearth is on the west wall.
It backs up to the fireplace in the other room, I think.
Ah, right.
Yeah, so that is the...
Right, got you.
You can just see it there.
Right. Can I investigate this scroll before I pick it up?
You can. The scroll is stained with soot, but it looks intact if it hadn't been burnt.
Right. Well, I'll wrap the corner of me cloak around me hand and pick it up with that.
Okay. It doesn't do anything. It just flaps slightly in the breeze.
Right. I'll tuck it inside me tunic with the bog paper. And while I'm here, I shall have a quick look under the bed.
You look under the bed and find only a chamber pot.
I will investigate the room. Do you want to give us a hand?
I certainly do want to give you a hand.
Okay. It's have an investigation advantage hidden.
Sorry, I'll do it again. There you go.
Okay. You search about the room, finding several papers, but nothing else seems to be of import. There's some blankets and there's some pillows on the bed. So if you are planning on heading into the main room to sleep.
Yeah, we'll drag the blankets and pillows into the other room and I'll take the sheets of paper and that for Lantesh. But we're going to check the north door next.
Okay. You pop the north door open. Lantesh, while these are searching the other room, you step into the room with Bjorn and you see a whole bunch of gnomish blueprints all over the floor. And
I'll have a look at those.
Right. The blueprints themselves.
I wish my brother was here. I know what half of this is.
First of all, I'm going to ask for a roll. Yes, the small clay figure on the ground is definitely a dead homunculus. The blueprints show different experimental designs for a weather controlling device. One of these designs resembles a gyroscope and closely resembles the object that you saw on the floor.
Ah, nice. Can I discern how it actually operates or not from the blueprints?
Not from the blueprints, because you're not. Are you proficient in tinkerer's tools?
No, I don't think so.
No. You've got a passing familiarity because of your brother who's a tinkerer, but you studied more in the arcane arts rather than the gnomish ones, so you only have a basic idea. So you wouldn't. Yeah. You can figure out what it's supposed to be, but not how it actually works.
Right. Okay.
Corin, you step into an abandoned bedroom. A stiff wind blows through the broken window in the east wall, causing the tattered grey curtains to billow and flap like angry ghosts. Snow covers the bed and much of the surrounding floor. It looks like you would have a serious problem weatherproofing this room.
Right. Well, obviously not bother weatherproofing it, but I would like to investigate it while I'm here.
I will help you.
Good.
Oh, look at you people. Investigate institution and things.
Aye.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, searching the room. You thoroughly search the room and you find nothing of any use other than a chamber pot under the bed. Now, you have 2 chamber pots.
Yeah, we're going outside.
I was just thinking, I could pick them up and clap them together like 2 off the coconut. Pretend we've got
you want
horses.
to check they're empty first.
Well, aye. Hey, everything will be frozen solid.
Oh, God.
It's getting incredibly creepy in here. It's dark and you're tired because you've hiked for 8 hours to get here.
Have we checked all the doors now?
Apparently so.
Well, better set up a camp in the middle of the room.
If
I've
we're going
checked
to do...
this room because we haven't investigated this room, have we?
Before we go to the main room, I suggest that what we do with this room is we drag that raggy old bed from the corner out into the corridor and then wedge the door shut with it.
Yeah, good idea.
Because if that room's not weatherproof, that's where things could get in and attack us in the rear, so to speak.
Okay, good plan.
The room I'm in can be easily made weatherproof and it's got a pipe.
Okay, me and Aisha will put the bookcase across one of the windows and the table across the other one.
Yeah. You do that?
I still think the best place for us to sleep is the main room, and then we can use that room there as a fallback, Dave.
The best one is the one Dave's in, I think, because Ace has just smashed a massive hole where one of the windows is, so so the snow and cold and wind is blown in.
All right, okay, then into that room then.
Remember doing that, Aisha?
No, it wasn't me. It was the other one. I forgot.
Yeah, there's literally like a cartoon. There's an Asia-shaped hole being smashed in the wall, letting in the weather.
That being
I'll
the case,
bring the
though,
bedding.
could we take one of the blankets that were found in that other room and tack it up over the Asia-sized hole?
You could, but you have to remember the sheer temperature, the sheer lowness of the temperature.
I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking of the blanket to A, cut down the wind. I know it'll do out for the temperature, but B, if we're in the other room and we've got a fire lit and there's a dirty great big hole in like the next wall, something might say the flickering light, but if we put a blanket over the hole...
Could always just like put some boards from the walkway outside over the hole-sized shape of me and block it up again.
There's a table there where the
all around the table.
Can I nail it with my fingernail gun?
ka-chung, eh?
Yeah, well, after get prestidigitation, I'll just prestidigitation nail gun on the end of my finger.
Very
It's
well.
a unique use.
Is anybody good at setting traps or anything?
Do you have
Sorry,
trap?
Ben.
No, but what I was going to say was, if in the workshop there's like bottles and stuff, maybe we could string a few bottles up, through like where...
Walking Dead style.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
at least we'll hear it if it's not too windy.
Peasant's alarm spell.
Yeah, the skeleton was on the floor next to the table, and next to the skeleton was that small gyroscope thing. Tracy, you can discern from the blueprints that it's probably a work in progress or a test, because building a full-size mechanical sun is probably quite a large undertaking. It's probably some kind of prototype.
And so what? Did it go off in his face?
Well, it definitely backfired. Is there any chance I can just pick that up and just, carefully, not actually touching that globe, and
Pick what up?
the globe, what was left of the globe,
And shove it in a corner out somewhere in this room.
What,
Yeah.
the glow over by the skeleton?
Yes,
Yes, you
If you want to take it with us, I can lend you a sack.
yes, that would be cool.
you pick it up and
Is it possible to give an inventory item to another player?
you can drag it into the party sheet, and then they can take it out of the party sheet. The
Right,
parcel.
give us a second. That's quite cool, that, actually. You can do that. Right, there's a sack for you.
I
Thank
know.
you.
Right, so you grab the sack, you walk over. It's cold and inert. You pick it up, and suddenly the core bursts into a golden radius as bright as a candle flame. It blossoms outwards, lightening the entire room, and then there's a woof, and you take 9 points of damage.
What?
Your body is reduced to ash.
Ouch! God,
What shit?
I didn't touch it out. It wasn't on my skin, but never mind.
Right,
Oh,
you
fuck.
rush into the room. There's this whiff of burning and a small pile of ash with a gyroscope sitting in it.
Holy shit!
No shit. I've just done me pop.
Tracy, you stand in a black and white version of the hut. Standing next to you is a semi-translucent gnome who shouts to you, "For Christ's sake, finally, I've been trying to talk to you for the last 2 hours." You can see the others in the hut as faint black and white images, as if they're ghosts. You reckon they must have died in the explosion because they're running about. They're running towards you. You look down, there's a pile of ash with the little gyroscope thing.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
He says,
all right. I look at him and go, right.
"Thank God for that. I've been trying to tell you, don't pick the Summer Star up until we've repaired it. We need to figure out what's wrong with it."
Ah, right. Bit late now.
Looks a bit late.
You can't hear this. Tracy's dead. Tracy's a small pile of ash with a gyroscope in the middle.
How did I... Is there any chance in me pile of ash I can do the words, "do not pick up"?
This is his little finger.
Tracy, there's Tracy. Ooh.
Sorry, I thought you said Bracy, not Tracy. That's what I was talking.
Oh, no. Right, no, there's Tracy. There is the... Right, well, you try your hardest. You channel your inner Patrick Swayze. Let's have a wisdom roll.
Oh, shit.
DC 10, request roll. Right, so the rest of you, you just seen Lantesh disintegrated before your very eyes. What do you do as you run forward?
Push forward and look at this orb. Is it still in it? Has it gone back to being inert?
It's gone back to being an inert state. Are you just going, the fuck? The fuck?
I will literally go, either of you guys can heal this.
I think it's a bit beyond what I can do.
I'm sorry. Can you heal this?
So are you coming out to examine the small pile of ash?
Yeah. And then the small pile of ash.
I don't think spare the day will work.
Yeah, so you all surround this small pile of ash, and then you notice it starts to move, and it looks like there's a finger in it, an invisible finger, and it looks like it's trying to form letters or words, but unfortunately it's just a small conical comedy pile of ash, so there's not enough physical space to...
I ask Aisha, because he's the cleric, if we were able to collect up all this ash, serious question, please don't fall about laughing, do you think a resurrection would be possible?
Well, do you? Can somebody get a...
No?
Can we have a dustpan and brush stat, please?
It could end up like the fly, but whatever. I'll give it a go.
Right, so...
I'll get...
Tracy, the gnome, McCready. He's like, what
so
you doing?
funny.
What you doing? You quite plainly can't write anything out in a small pile of body ash. I've been trying to do it in the snow and none of you have taken any notice. I flicked the book pages. Nobody took any notice of us.
I did, but I didn't know what you meant. I knew.
I don't
had a
know why it
feeling.
exploded. It shouldn't have. You've looked at the blueprints in there. It shouldn't have exploded. It's not like there's a clue anywhere that the party's completely ignored.
Well, I'm not really up on me. I kind of missed that lesson when I was in Gnomish school. I kind of went on to study some different books.
Can I get out a piece of parchment and a pen and put it on the table?
Yes.
And a thing and go, if that was some attempt to communicate from beyond the grave, I'll knock on the table twice and go, knock, knock.
Oh, he's going to do a Ouija board. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And I'm gonna make a Ouija board.
This is great.
Right, so you quickly sketch out a Ouija board. Tracy, you see Sandman doing this. You can't hear him talking, but you can see his mouth moving and you can see his actions but they all look like transparent ghosts. Everything's black and white and like there's just a roaring in your ears.
Oh, at least I'm warm now, though, surely.
Yeah, you feel warm for the first time in 2 years.
Can I have a look at that scroll?
The gnome turns and goes, what the fuck did he do to my wall? Have you seen that? He's knocked a big fucking hole in the wall of me hut.
Can I actually touch this with a gnome? Does he feel solid to me?
He kind of does, but it's like he's like made of jelly, so you can sort of poke him, and then if you press it, it kind of goes inside, like all ectoplasm. And he's like, "Hey, I don't poke you."
Sorry, I've just had to check. This is really weird. This,
Tell us about it. I've been stuck like this for weeks. I mean, occasionally there's one of the barbarian tribes comes past. There's a shaman guy or something because he comes and he performs a ritual outside. But other than that, I haven't seen anybody. I was like I was forgotten about.
You weren't forgotten about. We're planning. We're scheduled to come up here about a couple of days earlier, but we got sidetracked with another task at hand en route. But we're here now. We didn't expect you to be dead.
I don't think I'm that dead. I mean, I think I'm mostly dead. And that's completely different from all dead.
Is that
I'm as dead as you? Anyway, I'm as dead as you are.
That's true. I watch Sanwin, whatever he's doing.
The two ghosts turn and watch it. You guys can't see any of this. You draw out a rough Ouija board. What about the rest of you?
I'll continue to make the room secure.
Do you think if we're going to collect the ash up, we need to move that globy thing?
Oh, I wouldn't touch the globy thing. I think we can obviously say the globy thing is miles down your...
Not even with a long stick.
can touch it with your long stick, mate. Can you have a look at that scroll you got out of the fire and see if there's anything on it?
Ah, yeah, here it is. Have a look yourself. There you are. I'll pass it over.
Like resurrection.
You pull a scroll out of the fire, and you can read, you can almost hear it being read in copper Nobunaga's voice. Macreadus, I've had enough of this damned relentless cold. I feel it creeping in my bones, in my head, and my heart. I'm heading back to 10 towns for a decent meal and a warm bed. I fear this endless winter has numbed your mind, and any tinker worth their chins can see the summer star is a fool's errand. Maybe without me here to incessantly complain to you, you'll finally snap out of your obsession. If you truly insist on dedicating your remaining days to this doom project, might I suggest that 3 is better than 2. I considered telling you before, but you were particularly rude about the dinner I made last night, so screw you. May the light of the morning Lord protect you, Copper.
Screw you.
Richard, I sent you a message on the Discord.
I'm sorry. Right, I'll
He
point
wasn't keen on him, was he?
at the number 3 that I've written out on the piece of paper. Type BETTER, then wait, then THAN, then wait, and then point at number 2.
Right, Tracy, you see this?
What the hell do I say? Sorry. BE.
I made 3 better than 2 out on the Ouija board.
Garrett.
I'll lay out the scroll on the table.
Right, you lay out the scroll on the table, and Macreadus is like, so what we're doing now, we're just having some light reading before bed, are we? And these are the people you adventure with, really?
Yeah,
Really?
no, I'm a bit. I'm not quite grasping what he's getting at.
3, he says, 3. 3 better. 3 better than what?
I'll point at 2.
I'm going to request a roll from you, Lante. It'll be, an institution
I
check.
don't understand what he's getting at.
An insight. I'm going to request an insight check.
Need more than I'm going to need all the help I can get.
I told you I was waiting for this one.
Aisha, why are you building a potter's wheel? Oh, my darling.
Right. Tracy, it appears that he's indicating the letter, and then something springs to mind. You remember that when you were looking over those blueprints, and like I said, you couldn't figure out how it worked, but you kind of understood them. It only had 2 containing rings around the object, and it looks like the energy output is too much for the 2 containing rings. And then you slap yourself on the forehead, and you're like, "Oh,
dear. I'll indicate the 3 or whatever somehow.
Macready's like,
make the pen or an object, whatever, like the pen move towards the 3 or whatever.
Right, so you do the best to do your roll. Macready's is like 3, and he starts punching himself in the head and going, 3 rings. I just needed 3 rings. That's what I needed. And then he starts running over, banging his head off the wall, but it kind of sort of halfway goes through the wall. Wisdom's your force of will. Actually, intelligence. I'll allow you to use intelligence.
So hang on, Sanwin. It's what you're saying that according to that scroll from Copper, if the daft bastard had just put 3 rings on instead of 2, he wouldn't have blown his cell up.
Yeah, or Lantesh. Indubitably, old man, I'll say, as I sit up on the table and cross my legs.
Right.
Yeah.
So Lantesh, you are you holding the pen, Earl, at the time?
No, I'm lying it down on the table so it can be used like.
Right, so you can't pick it up and write, but you manage to do like the Patrick Swayze thing where you get your finger and you push through it 3 or 4 times, and eventually you focus your will and you poke the pen and it slowly rolls over and lands on the 3. Earl.
Hey, we've got communication with the other side. Is that Lantesh? Or is it the dead? Is it Macreadius? And I'll. There's a yes and no, obviously, because
I'll say yes.
Yeah. So she moves an object because she's getting quite good at this moving small objects about. You didn't ask the important question: is Elvis there, and can we speak to him?
I'm going to sit on the table with my legs cross-stretched.
Okay.
It's my pose.
You sit on the table.
Can we fix this thing?
Did Macreadius' stupidity?
I'll ask Macready. Come on, is it fixable? Is there a 3rd ring somewhere?
There's no 3rd ring, but there's tools in the workshop over there, and it's just a case of it's just thin copper. It's not. It doesn't need like a forge or anything. You can make fire, and all you need is somebody able to smith the copper into an appropriate ring size, and then somebody who could scribe the runes. I mean, and what we've got is these. As he sweeps his hand across the room, indicating the others.
I'll go to the yes again because when he last asked it, is it fixable? So I hope to get the idea that then put a 3rd ring on.
Okay, how?
questions a little bit more precise, will you? I'm
There's an alphabet spelled
McCready at this straight, banging me head off the wall, going halfway through.
Yeah, with a splut noise, Tracy bangs her head off the table as she now knows what it's like to talk to Will.
Spell it out.
Have you got the whole alphabet on there now?
Yeah.
All right, okay. I'll
The quill pen seems to be
About.
difficult for her to move about because of its shape. She can roll it backwards and forwards a little bit.
Look around for something more suitable. Oh, I'll get my old crystal focus out. That's like a triangular crystal, and I'll put that down instead.
What about if one of us held the pen? I say picking up the quill and sitting down at the table.
I have no idea. I've never done this before.
May neither.
I used to do this all the
Can I
time, but I
actually
just thought she was making shit up.
step inside one of them and get them, see if I can sort of get them to get a feeling of emotion. Right, to make a
Do you know what? I'm willing to give it a go. Which one are you picking?
I'll pick Asia. He seems to be in tune with
I don't even know what kind of role this would be. So you step inside Asia. I'm gonna say a performance role. I mean,
why not? What the hell
why
do I
not?
roll?
Yeah, there you go. I'll request a roll. Whoa, it's good. So what are you trying to make him feel? Asia, you get a little shiver as Lantesh Timothy Claypole's inside you. You're not sure.
So that not gone. That's not, and like a positive feeling that, that as though like when Sanwin said, can this be it like saved or whatever? So it's like a positive feeling.
Okay, that is what you feel. I mean, we are so far outside the box that it looks like a football at the moment.
I know.
So.
That was worth a try.
It certainly is. That's what you feel. You feel positive, Asia, and a little creeped out. I'm not going to lie.
How do we fix this?
Right, I'll try and I'll get McCready to help us, right? Because it's getting quite tiring this, and try and spell out the word copper and Smith.
He says they've got the blueprints right there. They just need to make a third ring and attach it at the two attachment points. If you can just tell them to look at the blueprints.
Which one? Blueprint number what?
Hang on a minute. I'll look at like spelling out the word copper and go, what? You mean we've got to go back to Bryn Chandler and get copper?
Well, I'll push it to no.
Yeah, the little crystal just hops up and down on top of no, like no.
I'll try and type out, message out the word blueprint, and whichever one had the blueprint for making these rings that McCready's talking about.
I'll go in the other room and I'll touch one of the blueprints and come back to him and say, just say yes when I'm touching the right one.
Didn't Andy gather up all of the blueprints and stuff them in his bag with the letter and the toilet roll?
Get the blueprints out.
Oh, yeah, right, okay. I'll lay them all out on the table next to the Ouija board.
Go 1, 2, 3, and give them each a number.
Right. So Tracy, you managed to indicate the blueprint that you saw. It's the last blueprint on the machine, and there's a separate strip. It's just laid out as a line. It just looks like somebody would need to smith the copper, and then somebody would need to engrave the correct runes on it, and then it's got two quite simple attachment plates. You basically just screw them off on the sides and screw them on. The hard bit looks like it may be difficult to build the actual machine.
Right. We will stoke the fire and we need some copper. Is there any copper about?
Yes. There was some thin copper. There's a mistake in the module where it doesn't actually mention it. So you will find some in the workshop.
Does anyone have any blacksmithing skills of any sort?
Forgive me for saying this, but if the general consensus is we've got to make a new ring and attach it, that means that some daft bugger's going to have to touch this thing again.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
I want to see which daft bugger's going to touch this.
I'll do it.
Fair enough.
So.
Oh, this is going to be crass, this.
Study the blueprints.
You study the blueprints.
Does anyone know how to blacksmith in any way, shape, or form?
Has anybody got blacksmithing proficiency? I believe it. Somebody might have mentioned it would have been useful at the beginning of the campaign.
Mending.
It's like blacksmithing, isn't it? Mending.
Forgive me for indulging in racial stereotyping, but Bien, is this not your people's type of thing?
That meme where you've insulted my entire people, but yes. Well, Ben, I guess
think he's in shock.
everybody should go to the skills tab
Upset because I'm dead.
and see who's got the best tool items, artisans tools, or dex check.
I have thieves tools, artisan tools, gaming tools, and instruments.
It's artisans tool because it's a dex check. So
I'm a mace. I'm a trained mason.
okay, no,
I've got a +3 if that helps.
+2.
Well volunteered.
I volunteered. Right, you go make a ring.
I beg pardon?
You need to make a ring that big, and I'll show them on the plans.
Oh, this is cool.
Hang on, how the hell did I get talked into this?
But right, I tell you what, I'll make the ring. You put it on the machine.
No, other way around.
Go on then.
right. Well, it takes a couple of hours and some trial and error because you're not exactly trained in it. However, do in fact manage to knock up a reasonable facsimile of the copper ring.
Ben, you use magic, don't you, now? So you understand magical writing, right?
As McCready watches this, Tracy, he gets excited and he's like, we're going to be able to control the weather. We're going to be able to control the weather. I mean, yes, it's only in a 10-foot radius, but this is just the prototype. Imagine what we'd do 1,000 times bigger.
Calm down. You're forgetting one thing. We're dead.
Yeah, that is a problem because it's a weather control device. It's not a resurrection device.
Exactly.
Right. Can me and Ben work on... Can Ben help me inscribe the arcane symbols?
Yes, he can provide a bonus. Again, it's going to be Tinkerer's tools because it's not forming them magically unless you've got a spell that can do that. They can work with metal.
I have got...
This is Earl reaching so bad.
While they're doing that, I'll get some of this rat meat out and brew up some rat meat kebabs. Keep everybody's strength up.
Well, I can use my mage hand to assist, and I can...
You can get advantage. You can get advantage by being helped, but you're still going to have to use your artisan's tools roll.
I have artisan's tools.
Strange enough, there was tinkering tools and smithing tools in the workshop.
Tracy blew the tinkering tools up
into a million pieces. It's true.
But I would the metal not last.
No, you exposed it to the heart of an artificial sun. A little one, but it was still a sun.
If I come back, I'm going to have bits of metal in us.
10.
Oh, 10 might just be good enough. Let's have a
really
look.
Good.
Right, you bollocks it up a little bit, but you use mending with much cursing and swearing, and you're shouting at the others, will you please hold the bloody thing still, blaming each other. You mend it back up and you manage to just scrape the runes. I mean, you haven't got a micrometer to examine them, but look pretty close.
Close enough will do. Here, look at the blueprints. How do we attach it?
It's very simple, actually. Once you've got the copper made into a ring, there's just 2 screws that unscrew, and then the 3 of them. It's like a gyroscope with the arms, so they attach at 2 points either side so they can all spin together.
All right. So can I unscrew those with a tool of some sort rather than my fingers?
Oh, yeah.
And everyone move away.
Yeah, everybody runs the hell away from...
I
love the way Ben and I were just off.
Yes, it stands there bravely.
If I explode, just do the same thing as we're doing now.
I'll hold your legs. If it goes off, I'll try and pull you out. You might get smoking stumpy legs, but hey, whatever.
It's Richie's way of killing the body out.
Right, I'll use the table as a slight shield, and I'll lean over and carefully, like not the Poseidon Adventure, I can't remember what it's called, but where he's doing the 3 bombs on the ship. I'll slowly unscrew. Juggernaut. That was a bloody good film. That
loved it.
Right, so you hold this thing in your hand, and it seems to have discharged its residual magic. As you hold it, however, it seems to be drawn magic from the air. You can feel that. You can feel it pulling anything. You can feel that pull where you need to attune to an item.
Oh, should I attune to this? I'll say to the things while I'm carefully replacing the things, and if I'll place the other thing on, and then I'll say quickly, do I need to attune to this? And wait to see if I get a quick answer.
McCready's like, yes, for God's sake, tell him yes.
Yes.
I'll attune it.
Right, so you attune to it and you feel the summer star pulling in some of the energy from yourself and around, and it allows you to cast control weather. As you hold it in your hand, the glow spreads out, but instead of like a huge burst of energy, it's like slow, like trickle, and it flows out. It's almost like it's like a liquid. The liquid reaches the first ring and flows over it the second, and then stops at the third. There's no heat, but then the whole room is illuminated in a sudden glorious golden ring. McCready says, "It works. It works. Now all we need to do is build one the size of a town, and we can spread sunlight all over the whole of Bryn Shander." And as this warm glow, he smiles and he seems to feel a little less real, Tracy. Off to the side of the cavern, there's a glowing circular orange portal opens, and he holds out his hand and he says, "It's time for us to go, Lanesh. We've done it. We've done it. We've made the weather machine. It works. We have to go now."
Not going anywhere.
Oh, that's Tracy.
Yeah, you feel a strong pull towards the orange portal, and you feel yourself stepping backwards towards it. Even though you fight it, you say, "I'm not going anywhere." Macready says, "Come on, it'll be okay." He leaves go and he walks forwards to the portal. And as he stands on the edge of the portal, he looks back at you and he says, "It's fine. We're going to meet the Morning Lord." And he steps through.
I want to meet the Morning Lord.
As you look back, ethereal tears roll down your cheeks. You don't want to go. It's not your time. And out from the portal steps a large humanoid figure. All you can see is a black outline, and on his back are two glorious sun golden wings. And he steps forward. You can't make out any facial features. And he says, "I've come from the Morning Lord, and we need people to end the endless rhyme. And it's not your time. It's time for you to go back." He reaches out and he gently pushes you on your forehead. And as you fall backwards, the whole of the colours start to spread out around you. And then there's a slight pop, and Lanesh lands on the floor next to you. She's still crying, tears running down her face.
I scream like an absolute girl.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
You look better than you did earlier.
I'm just lying there in shock and sort of reverence at what I've just witnessed.
I don't know. She looks a little ashen to me.
Oh, Davey, good one.
Oh, Dave could have a point of inspiration for that one.
I'll cover her with a blanket.
She seems happy, but she's also crying at the same time.
I've just witnessed the impossible.
What? Beyond what around at the pub?
I've seen a god.
What? Like a real god?
No, the Morning Lord.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He told us that wasn't my time. I had to go back. I had work to do.
Oh, good guy.
Just a little tick. You hear that these gods exist, but I mean, when you see one, it's like, I'm just speechless.
Can you describe exactly what the deity looked like? And I'll start taking a note.
I'll describe him.
Black featureless outline with large glowing golden wings.
Yeah, that's accurate. And what did he smell like?
I was too busy crying at the time. I don't know. I couldn't smell. My nose was running. I was just full of snot.
Oh, right.
Luckily though, to cheer you up, Corin has a big pot of rat goulash on the go in the other room.
We've got food. We're going to head into the bedroom. I'll bring my son with us. Sit it down. Is it warm or just light? Is it like warm summer's day?
It's like a warm summer's day warm. It doesn't last very long, and it's got a very short radius. But it's like for just a little while, you can get the warmth, and it only lasts a few minutes, but then it fades.
We'll get ourselves in here, have some rough goulash. And then have a good rest, and then tomorrow we'll best set out back for base because we've got a lot of reporting in to do.
So as you have a nice long rest, spend the evening feasting upon rat goulash, and you all feel better. You're nice and warm, and tomorrow you set out. I'll advance the calendar. Tomorrow you set out either for Lonely Wood or Bryn Shander.
Do we want to pop into Lonely Wood and hunt a moose, or do we want to go back to Bryn Shander and take this incredibly valuable artifact back?
I think we're probably better go straight back to Bryn Shander and take the artifact and the Twinger with us before we lose either.
Yeah, let's go.